that's why I ask if there's some kind of custody thing that you guys have come to terms with or anything like that, to where you meet somewhere else. Because that's where I'm starting to feel like maybe that's more the route you guys are going to have to go down, just because the homeowner doesn't want you here. Now, between you and the children's mother, that's you guys can obviously work that out. That's not something that law enforcement would get involved with, you know what I mean, with custody and that kind of thing.
A marriage will end in one of two ways: in death, as in till death do us apart, or in family court. Before getting married and having kids with someone, you might want to think about that.
Okay, looks like someone's home now, so we'll try again. Third time's a charm.
Right away, you can see that this man is bringing his kids some gifts. Some guys out there don't give a damn about their kids. And I don't believe that the parents or the grandparents should be keeping the kids away from the other parent. I've had to deal with this kind of stuff before in the past. And in reality, in this video, I don't know whose fault it is or what happened. But the ones that suffer the most are the children.
Hey man, I'll come talk to you outside. I just can't have you come in the house. We'll come chat out here.
Okay.
Cool. Do you mind just chatting? I just want to get both sides of the story, right? So let's just go over here and talk in the shade.
Okay. What shade do you want to talk in?
Over there by those trees.
Okay.
And sorry, what was your name? I just got here.
I'm trying to see my kids. I think this is where they live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a call from the family that just was saying that you had showed up. They didn't want you here type of thing, but obviously there's two sides to every story.
Let me pause to point this out. The reason I'm sharing this video is because I think this woman does a good job. What is she supposed to do and what can she do in this situation, being a cop, being called out to a civil matter, right? Like I said, I've had to deal with this kind of stuff before, and I've had to deal with rude cops who act like they don't care. I think she does a good job, but I'm not perfect. I know a lot of you guys out there think that I'm this high and mighty guy, the all-knowing. That is untrue. I get better by reading your comments, and I try to respond to you guys as well. So if you guys see something in this video, don't be afraid to point it out.
Why I want to chat with you. So, sounds like your kids live here then. Can you kind of tell me more of the backstory about what that's about?
Yeah, so the mother of my kids took my kids up here, so this is where they are.
Gotcha. Okay. What is your name?
Devin.
Okay. And so do you guys have some kind of like agreement that you see the kids, or how does that work? Because they were saying that you're out of state, typically, it sounds like.
Yeah, so our kids were born in Utah, and then she took them up here and filed for divorce.
Okay.
But there's no agreement, and it's not final. So it's kind of this situation where she does everything she can to get me to not see him. This is the first time that I guess someone has called the cops to prevent this, or like to interfere, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's, obviously when we show up, that's why I want to talk to you as well. I just got a very brief rundown, but I wanted to obviously just come chat with you before. The biggest thing is right now, I don't want you to go in there because I don't want any kind of disturbance or fight or altercation. The grandmother does not want you to go in the house, and that is her right as the homeowner. So that's why I'm out here chatting with you. Wanted to get your side of the story before we figure out what we need to do, right? Biggest thing is, so it does sound like maybe someone's contacted you in the past, law enforcement. Does that ring a bell? Like maybe a year ago?
No, law enforcement has never contacted me.
Never?
I mean, I've been pulled over.
But for this situation?
Never.
Okay. Have you ever been issued have you ever been told don't come to this house before by them or anyone else?
I think I've been told I'm not welcome inside, but my kids live here, so I'd like them to come outside so I can spend time with them.
Okay.
Do you have kids?
No, I don't.
Right, okay.
I definitely don't. I see where you're coming from though, man. Like I see where you obviously want to come see your kids. So I have to obviously continue I have barely just gotten anything from them. I need to get their side of the story and all of this. With that being said, the biggest thing, the reason that I was called out here was because they didn't want you here. I'm assuming you brought things back for them or just went to get things for them. But the homeowner, she is just not wanting you to be here. That's why I ask if there's some kind of custody thing that you guys have come to terms with or anything like that, to where you meet somewhere else. Because that's where I'm starting to feel like maybe that's more the route you guys are going to have to go down, just because the homeowner
Gotcha. Okay.
doesn't want you here. Now, between you and the children's mother, that's you guys can obviously work that out. That's not something that law enforcement would get involved with, you know what I mean, with custody and that kind of thing. But I can get involved if she doesn't want you to enter the house and you do. That's where I would have to get involved. Am I kind of making sense there? Does that make sense at all to you?
So I want to see my kids. Can you get them to come out?
So here's where we're at. She doesn't want you on this property, which currently we still technically are on the property. I'm going to clarify some of that from her, and I'm obviously here, so I'm mediating that. So what I was going to do is just wait. We've got another deputy here. We're going to have him stand by with you. We'll see about that, but I'm going to assume, based on my conversation I just had with her, she probably does not want you on this property as a whole. I have to clarify that, which would include the driveway and the surrounding curtilage here. So that would be you'd have to come up with a meeting place elsewhere. Because here's where we're at. If I tell you you have to leave, you have to leave. And if you don't, you can go to get a ticket or go to jail for it. Does that part make sense? Regardless of if you want to see your kids or not. You can see them elsewhere. You'd have to work that out with the mom. I can't.
Looks like the officer was called there because the grandparents didn't want the man on the property. The female officer had no choice but to advise the man that he was not allowed to be on the property. And I think that's all she can do at this point. She cannot mediate. She cannot help with the situation. That's why I find it funny when some cops are out there acting like they're counselors. This female officer did not try to do that at all, in my opinion. She didn't come off as being rude either. You know, on this channel, we try to highlight police interactions. There's a reason we put transparency in the channel name. We want to highlight the good and the bad. The way she spoke to the man was not demeaning at all. That right there, folks, is a needle in a haystack. And the reason I do show videos like this as well is because I want other cops to know and see how they can behave in incidents like this. Cops don't always have to escalate situations. We see that far too often. But Devin Lang, I hope everything works out for you. I hope you get to see your kids. It sucks that you guys might have to go through the whole court system. And when it does go to the courts, you guys got to understand that the only ones that benefit from all of this are the lawyers. They're going to take food right out of your kid's mouth. I speak to a woman named Susan Bassey who deals a lot with family courts and family law. And we were just speaking about this the other day. She would like to start an organization where the people can go in and help people out in this situation, where it doesn't have to go to the courts and people don't have to cough up hundreds of thousands of dollars to the lawyers. Kind of like a mediation group, right? I'm all for that. If there's anything that I can do to help, count me in. Because there's a lot of things that we don't seem to understand when it comes to family law. Did you guys know that there was a lot of private judging going on? In California, the top lawyer, Tom Girardi, was appointing his friends to be judges. At least that's my understanding of why he got busted. This is a game that they're playing with the people, and they're using your turmoil to get wealthy. Let that sink in, families. Know your rights. Always record the police. Try to leave government out of your situations and dealings. Parents, figure out a way to work together. I know you're not going to like everything about the other parent. Don't weaponize your kids against the other parents. That's a damn shame when you guys do that. I'll be dropping Devin Lang's original channel link in the description and in the pinned comment. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.